Welcome to Wellness Made Easy with Wendy and Kirsten. Hi, I'm Wendy. After I graduated with my master's in wellness management, I started my own company, T2 Coaching, Health, Fitness, and Sport. And I'm Kirsten, an athlete, vegan, life coach, and girl mom, running a business focused on helping others create a life they love. We are here to explore all things wellness to help you become the person you've always wanted to be. So if that's why you're here, open your ears and your mind as we tackle the world of wellness together. Hi, everyone. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Kirsten. How are you?
Yay, I can hear you.
I can hear you too. I think it has to do with my phone.
When you do something on your phone, it turns off your volume on your computer.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe it's connected by like Bluetooth or something.
I don't know.
I'm
not a big Bluetooth person.
Oh, so you don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. I'm not a big technology person at all. I have no idea what's going on in this world. So how was your week?
It was good.
Yeah. Do you have a wellness win for us?
It's continuation of my birth month. I prioritize me, myself, and I more than any other month out of the year.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, it's just a habit every year, my birth month. It's kind of like, times where I'm like, do I really want to take the trip to drive an hour and a half to go do that run on that mountain? Most of the time I'd be like, no, it's just not the right timing. I got things I got to do. But like during the month of March, I'm like, hell yeah, it's my birth month. I want to go do my runs where I want to go do my runs, even if it takes me 3 hours round trip out of my day.
Right.
And then it's just planning. Like if I get all my stuff that I want to get done today, it motivates me to say, get it done, because tomorrow or whenever you're going to be spending 3 hours in the car and you're not going to have as much time as you normally do to get the stuff done. And so it's all good. That's kind of like how I roll during my birth month. And so just the whole month of March is a wellness win.
So do you like it just being 1 month a year to celebrate you, or are you working toward doing this, being able to do this every month or 6 months?
I do. Honestly, I do this every month. Like I have my own business. I create my own schedule. It hasn't always been like that. It's like when you own your own business, there's some baby steps, there's some hard times, there's some stressful times, a lot of stressful times. But I'm to the point now where I got a really good schedule. And so I tend to prioritize my schedule, and which prioritizes me. But there are moments where it's not like doing this run on my birthday is a high priority at Fort Mountain State Park. Oh, I think about going to Fort Mountain State Park every day. It's an hour and a half away. It's not always a priority, but on my birthday it is. Right. And so that's kind of the difference, is I'm not coaching masters on my birthday because I have to work the weekend before my birthday at a swim meet that I didn't plan on doing. So I feel like I can justify not showing up Monday morning on my birthday to coach masters because I just had to spend the weekend coaching a youth swim meet that I thought I was done with.
Right.
So for me, it's just justifying, and for me personally, people understand, oh yeah, it's your birthday.
Right.
And that's just how our society, or at least the people in my world, they're going to totally be understandable when they see the sign. It's my birthday. I went to go see the sunset. Here's the workout, 5350s. They're going to be like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Right. And if you did that any other month, you're like, I'm just going to skip today because I'm going to go see the sunset. People would be like, who does she think she is?
Right. It's just not the same. And so, right. But I feel like really good about it, especially because I do pick up, again, this is all talking about stuff I do at Lifetime. I do pick up shifts. I do work for other people. I do help people out. So it's like, all right, this is what I deserve, because I've helped so many people out, even though no one can help me out and coach masters at 6 a.m. because no one knows how to do it. And why would they? They're just going to stand there and put a workout on the board. I can do that myself.
Right.
I just feel like give and take. I'm a give and take person.
And on your birthday month, you
11 months. I take a lot more.
Yeah, 11 months out of the year, you give a little more, so that 1 month out of the year, you could take it all.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you know what? I'm so passionate about the birth month And I try to like give that to my friends and family and athletes I coach, who are my friends and family. I try to make them do the same thing during their birth month. I try to be that inspiration that they allow themselves to do something special during every day of their birth month if they want to. Because sometimes you just don't think about it. And then when you justify it, you think about it and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that too.
Right.
It's really cool. It's really cool to see, this was all inspired. And I have to say this now. My high school swim coach, who was the biggest influence on me besides my parents, he did that. So I'm going to say when he was 40, maybe he was 40 when he started coaching me. As a freshman in high school, I got a new coach, and I had only had, he was my fourth swim coach. On all my years of K through 12th grade, I only had 4 coaches. And he would do a birthday swim. And I want to say it was 40 when he did 40 100s. And then every year he would add 100. He would always do a birthday swim. Maybe he was 50. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But I got the idea of birthday workouts from him. And so the whole like birthday workout turns into, birth month, a birth weekend, a birth week, a birth month. And there we have it. That's how this developed. And again, I feel like I started doing birth workouts when I was 40. When I was training for my first ultra 50 miles, my birthday, I wanted to run 40 miles. I ended up doing it indoors, combination of the step mill and the treadmill. But that was like my first, what I remember as my official and then annual birthday workout.
Right.
And that's how this kind of came about.
Yeah.
He inspired me for me to inspire others just like yourself.
Right. And we actually, Wendy and I, like a year ago, we did an entire episode. It might have been last March.
It was episode 10.
Yeah, we did an entire episode on spoiling yourself for your birthday and how important it is to celebrate you and celebrate yourself. And Wendy and I, that's why we do a wellness win at the beginning of every episode, to not so that we like, I think of my wellness wins all day, all week long, like something great happens. And I'm like, oh my gosh, good job, girl. This is awesome. And Wendy does the same thing, but we share them so that you guys can remember to do that for yourselves.
Yes.
Because we already do it for ourselves, but we want to share the wealth so you guys can celebrate yourself because you are an important person.
Yes.
Yes. All right. I did, on my financial journey of the year, my big scary thing today I did, which is my wellness win, is I put all of my online purchasing things like, Amazon and Instacart and Grove, where I get all my like cleaning supplies, and Thrive, where I get like my protein bars, all this stuff. I disconnected them all from my credit card and connected them all to debit cards. And I've never done that. It's really scary for me. I'm going to see how it plays out. I haven't done it because I'm not 100% convinced that I can make and spend the same amount in a month yet. That hasn't happened. I still spend more than I make. So that's why I always have everything connected to credit cards, because I'm like, I don't want to I like, if I need to buy, which I guess I don't need, like the stuff to mop my floor. If I don't have it, I'm like, oh no, how am I going to mop my floor? But now I'm like, oh, if I don't have it, I guess I'm mopping my floor with something else. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But so I'm trying it out. I just did it literally right before we got on the call.
Awesome. I love to hear that.
So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. All right. So Wendy and I, we were going to talk a little bit today about ADHD. And one of the reasons that we kind of know a little bit about it is because I am super ADHD and Wendy has a spouse who is ADHD. So she knows what it's like.
ADHD. He's ADD.
ADD in the olden days is now ADHD. Okay. It's just when we were kids, like when we were kids, it was ADD. And now they just group it all together as ADHD. So either way,
What does the H stand for, though?
hyperactive, I think.
Right, I don't see any of that in my.
Oh, I might have enough for both of us.
I don't see that in him, but I see that in children. I see more of the hyperactivity,
Yeah,
ADHD part of it than I
right.
do in the spousal unit.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I was thinking about it, I've actually been thinking about it for a few years because it affects my life a lot. And I know that there are a lot of things that I can do to help simplify my life so that it doesn't feel like such a disorder. Like I always feel like I'm disordered anyway. Um, and I don't know how, if Dawn does anything specifically, or if you guys have to, if you have to be more patient, or if you've learned that, to have specific systems in place that help things go a little bit more smoothly. But I know that I do. And as soon as like I admitted that this was okay and I'm going to work my life around it, it's made things much easier rather than me trying to fit into a box that I'm not fitting in. So
Exactly. It's just like a different personality. There's just, the brains work differently. And I struggle with someone who doesn't have it understanding how the brain works in someone with ADHD. And he will share things with me, like a book or a podcast or a blog, to help me understand him. And I get it. It makes sense to me, but it's not always on the top of my mind that the reason he did or did not do something has to do with ADD. And he'll always say, "Oh, ADD, ADD, mind, ADD, ADD." Like his excuses, and coming from me, he makes a lot of excuses for ADD, and I don't understand that part of it. I mean, I understand it.
right,
It's just
right,
hard for me to accept it in a very calm, patient way all the
right.
time.
Right. And it's probably like, oh, I probably shouldn't even say this because I'm sure I'm totally off, but I'm thinking like if someone is like just any sort of like characteristic that if they do something that somebody doesn't like, they blame it on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. I I guess I don't really blame anything, but it helps me understand why I do certain things.
Right. When he says, "Oh, it's just an ADD," and I'm like, okay, to me, you just forgot.
Right.
Like I don't have ADD, and I would just say I forgot. Or other
Right.
instances where I'm like, then I have ADD because I would have done the same thing. Like to me, you
Right.
just forgot. Um, but it is a special thing it's a real thing, and I think it's a real thing, and someone who doesn't have it has to accept it
Right.
and learn more. And if I want to deal with it, I just have to be patient and learn more about it.
Yeah, I think patience. And then I think the person who, like, I think the reason that we want to say, so like, I don't know if I told you this last week or the week before, but I lost my keys. Did I tell you that at the jujitsu gym?
Yes.
And yes, and it ended up costing me $318 to get my car rekeyed. And then they found my keys like later that night. They were like, they fell behind the chair and they found
How big
them.
have you found them?
Yeah. So then they found them. And so, all was fine. I have two keys now and my fob doesn't start my car because they had to rekey it. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. I lost my keys. I lose things all the time. Like I
Okay, well,
forget
I'm gonna
things.
pause right there. Pause right there. I lose things all the time. I lose my keys all the time. So for me, for what you just said, number one, was it an ADD moment of you losing your keys? Number two, I'd be like, oh, good. I have two sets of keys. I'm better off now that I lost my keys because it forced me to get a second set. That's how I feel about the whole situation that you just experienced. Is I'd be like,
Right.
it happened for a reason. I got 2 sets of keys. Woohoo! It's such a
Right.
positive experience for me to lose my keys.
Right. And I was just like, I'm such an idiot. I was so, because I did not remember at all. Like, I had my keys in my hand, and I had my bag in my hand, and my jacket on my hand, and I put them all on a chair. And then I went and did something, and then Cora had jujitsu, and then I walked to the car and my keys were gone. And I wasn't thinking like, ooh, great opportunity to get new keys. I was thinking like, oh, I'm such a loser. I lost these keys. And 10 o'clock PM comes around, and I finally got 2 new keys that I had to pay $318 for in my month that I'm trying to get out of debt. So mine was more like, but I think what I was saying about like how Dawn's saying like, oh, it's an ADD thing, because sometimes I feel like, how do I keep doing all these things that make me feel like I'm just a spaz and I'm all over the place and I can't get my shit together. That's how I always feel. And so I think saying to somebody like, oh, it's my ADHD talking, then that gives me a reason that I'm not just an irresponsible, spazzy human.
I have a thing. I forget what it's called.
Air tag.
An air tag. So I used to have 2 sets of keys. Again, it cost me $300 to get the second one. And a year or 2 ago, I had lost it at Kennesaw Mountain. And my air tag, my phone was telling me your air tag was left at Kennesaw Mountain. And so I'd go back and they couldn't find my key. I couldn't find it. And then the battery's gone. I don't know what the key is. So I have 1 key. And there's a reason I'm not getting another one. It's because it costs $300 and you got to go to the car dealership and get it done there. And I haven't gotten it yet. This AirTag, this is brand new, the battery was dying and dying and dying for months, and I couldn't open it up to put a new battery in. So finally, I asked my husband, I made him, because he kept telling me he was going to get me a new one. I got a new one. So I am someone that I still use this in my house. Like, I have to use my AirTag, my phone, find my key, and it's usually in my house somewhere, because I lose my keys all the time. All the time. And I've accepted it. That's who I am. It's gonna continue to happen. I used to put them in a box. I still have my box. I used to come home, put my keys in a box. I don't always do remember to do that. And so for me, it's not an ADD, or it's just, I just don't, the memory, that priority, that memory, I come home, I'm ready to eat, I'm ready to go to the bathroom, I throw my keys somewhere and they're gone. If I didn't have an AirTag, I would be doomed.
You would be spending $1,200 on 4 keys.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there because we're talking about keys and forgetfulness. But at no other point, I mean, there's some times where I'm like, oh, I did it again. Wendy, why did you do that again? Oh, well, and then I'm like, you know what? It's your own fault. You got to find them. Don't tell anyone. You got to find them. You have no option. You have to find your keys. Don't do it again. And it happens again. So to me, it's been an acceptance thing. I don't know where this has to do with ADD, but I just love.
I know we just said, they're like, is this episode when I do the show notes thing? It's going to be like Wendy and Kirsten talk about car keys. So I think for me, the like biggest things that affect me in my life with having ADHD is starting and not completing too many things. And so I
think that's the number one thing with Don. And he's a woodworker. And he just starts and starts and starts so many projects and rarely finishes them.
Yeah. And I just like it. And then it gets overwhelming because nothing gets done. And I've worked with therapists on this, and I've tried to do only do one thing until it gets done. But then I get too overwhelmed because there's too many other things that need to get done. And then I've tried to spend 10 minutes on each thing for 3 hours. So at least I'm getting a little bit of everything done. but then I still feel overwhelmed because then nothing's done. And I don't know if there's a solution. I'm not saying there's a solution to it, but I would say that's probably the thing that causes me the most anxiety and overwhelm about having ADHD and trying to do life with it.
And it sucks, and I know because I live with it. And then someone like me who doesn't have it, I'm grateful I don't have it.
Yeah.
Because that sounds really hard to manage
Right.
life when you start so many things and you struggle, and it's real. It's not an excuse. It's a real thing. You struggle with getting things done, and that creates the anxiety. And I see it, and so I know that's a thing, and it's real, and I don't know if there's a solution.
Yeah, I think, and I don't either. I think that with any issue or characteristic or personality trait or a disorder or a illness or whatever, I think with anything that we have that we're aware of in ourselves, I think the best thing to do is just adapt our lifestyle so that we can get through it with the best chance of success.
Mm-hmm.
So like, for example, I don't know how, I have like 5 jobs, and then I do like my other things like plasma, and like when I've been keeping track these last 3 months, I have between 10 and 15 sources of income every month. And it's overwhelming and it drives me crazy. And like yesterday, I worked 7 hours in 12 hours. From 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., I worked 7 hours in a 12-hour span because of like getting to different places and driving back and forth. But I also can't imagine having a job that's doing the same thing at the same place for 8 hours a day, every day. Like that, I feel like would drive me even more crazy than doing all my jobs I do now.
And my husband is the opposite. When he focuses on one thing, like work, he's really good at it. And he's he can complete stuff at work. Because at work, there's nothing else to do but his job as a nurse. And he is A+ at that. It's when he couldn't do what we do, be all over the place. That's too scattered for him because of his ADD. He likes to just zoom in, focus, go to work, get the stuff done, come home, move on, and he wants to zoom into something else. He struggles with the work, the woodworking, the house renovation, the working out. Those are 4 things. And to me, I wish I could do house renovation because our house would be renovated.
Right.
You know, like we've been working on these projects for years and years and years. I don't know how to do it. Like I'm not the renovator. I'm gonna take out a home loan and pay someone to do it to get it done if I could.
Right.
But those 4 things he just needs to do: either work and woodworking, work and home renovation, work and working out. That he can't do all, but having those 4, which seem like activities of daily living in my world, is just too much. So yes, if he heard you did what you did 7 hours,
right, it would make him really anxious.
He'd be like, "How the hell did that? How could you do that?"
Right. Well, and it's interesting because I do like the hyperfocusness, and that's why I think I do well when I'm like training for a race, because I just put everything into training. Or like right now, I'm really like my finances are my big like thing I'm focusing on. So every day, everything I do is focused on finances. So, and I have to make lists or else I will forget everything. And if I have 20 things on a list and I look at my list and I get really overwhelmed, then whatever I'm focusing on, like for in that moment. So like when I looked at, I got home at 9:30, 2.5 hours ago, and I had a bunch of things I wanted to get done. I did nothing except transfer all of my online things to debit cards, because I'm like, okay, I'm focusing on finances. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you can't say you did nothing. That's a big thing.
It is a really big thing, but I had 2.5 hours and I have like 4 loads of laundry and dishes. And I have so much stuff that I could have gotten done in 2.5 hours, but I got really overwhelmed with all the stuff I needed to do. And since I'm very focused on finances right now, I actually did. Oh, I did. And I'm selling my bike, my road bike. And so I put that up on a couple places because I'm like,
Okay.
What can I sell? What do I need to do to make more money?
And for me, I would have came home, started the laundry. I would have said, okay, I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to do 15 minutes of dishes, and then I'm going to do the finances, because at least I did some laundry, some dishes, but the priority was the finances. Like, I'm really good, if you want to call multitasking.
Yeah.
Some people are going to say multitasking is not productive, but I feel like in the way my brain operates and my personality is when I have a juggling act, I can get so much done. Obviously, if you have a lot to do, you have a lot to get done. But I'm really good at getting stuff done.
Right.
I'm really good at like blocking out, okay, for this 30 minutes, I'm doing the dishes. Whether I'm done or not, I'm moving on because I set aside X amount of time. I'm moving on to laundry for X amount of time. I'm moving on to finance for X amount of time. I'm really good with the time. ADHD people are not good with time, time management. I don't even know what you want to call it. They're just not good with time.
It's like a time awareness. So like I could be like have 2 hours to do something and I have my list and I'll set my timer. So here's a good tip, you guys. Whether you're have any ADD, ADHD, whatever. Wendy just said it works for her. This works for anyone. It's setting a timer. So if you have 4 chores or 4 things you want to get done and you have an hour, you set your timer for 12 minutes. You can do a little transition. And then when your timer goes off, you switch activities. And that's what I do. That's always my intention. And I start my timer and I do my thing. And then I get sidetracked and start doing something else. And then my timer goes off and I push pause and I'll be like, I'm going to do this thing for 1 more minute and then set my timer for the next thing. And then an hour goes by. Mm-hmm. So it's like a time warp. Your time just like disappears.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what happens to Dawn.
Yeah. And I'm like, what just happened? It happens at night. I'm so tired. I'm like, I'm going to do one thing and then go to bed. And then it's 11. It
happens to him like on the weekend. Like all of a sudden it's 6 o'clock at night. He's like, where did the day go?
Yeah. So
and again, his definition of productive day is a little bit different than my productive day. and I'm fine with that. You know what? But kudos, you had a productive day. I'm happy.
Right.
You know,
right.
You got one thing, this is extreme. You got one thing done, and I got 100 things done. That.
Right.
You have the sensation of having a productive day is a great feeling. I'm not going to take that away from you.
Right. Well, and I think that's part of my problem is I rarely feel like I had a productive day because it's so all over the place.
That's how he is.
Yeah. And I don't. So it's not like if I got 3 things done, I wasn't like, oh, good job, Kirsten, you got 3 things done. Mm-hmm. Because it feels like it doesn't feel like I got 3 things done. It feels like I could have gotten 20 things done. So I didn't get to 17 things. Mm-hmm. And it's frustrating. So a few things that might be helpful and you don't have to have ADHD to have some of these issues. Like Wendy said, you could just have poor time management. I mean, poor time management definitely goes along with ADD and ADHD, but you could just be someone who you don't have any issues in your brain. You just have poor time management for whatever reason. Maybe you weren't taught good time management. Maybe your lifestyle changed and now you have more time or less time and you haven't learned how to deal with it yet. But regardless, the setting the timer thing, I think is a really good, simple tip. You just have to keep setting the timer. Like
Mhm.
I just like don't reset the timer. And then I thought I set the timer again. Like I pushed go again and I didn't. And then an hour later, I'm like, crap, I gotta go. Another thing is writing things down. And I don't know how Dawn is with this. If I don't write things down, I do not remember them. And I have double booked people before for like swim lessons or personal training because I didn't write it down. And by the time, like, then the moment passed. And that could be really dangerous if people are relying on you, or your job or your income is relying on you being organized. And so I naturally, I don't remember it, I get really disorganized. And so if I don't write things down right away, like I put it in my phone immediately, then I'm not going to remember.
Yeah. So I write things down on my phone. It works for me. The system I have works for me. But I also have the brain where I always am aware, like sometimes I don't know what's going to happen at 2:00, but I know I have a 2:00 appointment.
So then you can look through your text, search 2:00 and be like,
what
did I book?
So like I'm usually aware of, you know what, I'm pretty sure tomorrow at 3 I have something going on. I don't know what it is, and I'll look and I remember. But I remember I have it. I just don't know exactly what it is all the time. Don he likes to write things down with paper and pencil. He likes a certain notebook style that he uses, and he's constantly rewriting lists. And to me, that doesn't work for me. I'm constantly have my list, and I'm able to copy and paste and say, okay, this is a priority. It's going to
right.
I'm constantly reprioritizing my list of things to do, and he likes to just paper and pencil, write them down. He's different, but definitely. That the feeling of crossing something off your list,
Mm-hmm.
that's a great feeling to say, oh, the end of the night, I'm crossing all these things off my list. What a great feeling.
Yeah. So one time, and if you guys struggle with like, I'm not productive, or I have this list and I'm not crossing things off, because crossing off does feel good. For a while, what I was doing when I was feeling like I wasn't getting anything done is I would start with a blank piece of paper instead of my list. And every time I did something, I would write it down. And it was just like to mentally help me like feel like I was doing something or getting stuff done. And so like everything I did, like walk the dogs, I would write it down. So today, I guess, like I was like, I didn't get anything done. I did walk the dogs. I did make myself lunch. I did order groceries. Oh, and I did clean out my car a little bit. I just forgot. I guess I did do more things than I thought today. But then I would just write those things down. Like cleaned up this. Oh, I pumped up my tires because I'm going to go for a bike ride. So pumped up my tires, to write everything down. And then at the end of the day, you look and you're like, I did 50 things today. Instead of, I didn't get anything done today. Mm-hmm. And then if you want, you could go cross all those things off because you did them. You can write them down and cross them off.
Great feeling.
So another simple tip, if you are somebody who, again, these aren't just if you're ADD or ADHD, but you might just be really disorganized, or you might be really forgetful or anything. Setting alarms on your phone is something that really helps me as well. And my friend Kat, who is like pretty, she's never been diagnosed as ADHD because she's never been to a therapist, but she would agree. So I'm not like talking behind her back. She would agree she's very ADHD, and she literally has an alarm for everything. So if she has to pick up her son at 2:30 and then get on a phone call at 2:35, and then she sets an alarm for each of those things, so that if she does forget to reset the timer or gets distracted doing something, that alarm will go off to remind her of her next activity that she needs to do. So I think that I've done that for a couple things. A couple months ago, I completely forgot on a Sunday, because I coach from 3 to 4 on Sunday. And I think it was like only the second month we started doing that. And it was 2:45. And one of the moms texted me and said, "Oh, we're not going to make it to practice today." And I was like, I was right in the middle of doing something too. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasn't even going to go to practice. And I had it, luckily I'm 5 minutes from the pool. I literally like jumped in my car and sped to the pool. And I was like, thank God that mom texted me, or I would have been at home at 3:00 while the kids are all showing up at the pool. So after that happened, I have an alarm set in my phone at 2:40 every Sunday. And if that goes off, I'm like, oh, time to get to the pool.
That's good. That happened to me the other day. I had a client call at 2:00 on Monday, but we had just set it up Monday morning via email. Hey, can you do it today at 2? He's like, yeah. Usually that's my cleaning time. Like I work from home, and usually 2:00 is a good time to take a break and do some dishes and do some cleaning. That's what I was doing at 2:00. Completely spaced the call. He texted me at 3. He's like, I'm so sorry. I got distracted.
You're like, oh, praise the Lord.
Yeah, so he was distracted as well. And again, it was no big deal. It was just it's a friend. I'm helping him with his training. It was just a casual call, not necessarily work related, but it was. But it was kind of like made me feel really good because we never said who was calling who.
Right.
We just said normally I'm the one that calls the person, especially because we're going to talk about his training. But we both completely spaced it. And we got distracted doing other things.
You're like, whoo. You're like, that was lucky.
But again, I think that's the distraction is a good term for ADHD.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so much. And I feel like I say those words. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. I feel like I say that all the time to people. One interesting thing that when Cora first started going to her therapist, I was like, can you test her we talked about ADHD. And she was like, have you thought about getting Cora tested? And I was like, I'm sure we can test her, but she totally is ADHD. Like her and I together are like all over the place. And so the test they use for kids is the parent fills out this form. I forgot what it's called. And then her teacher fills out the same form. So one applies to like home life and one applies to school life. And then they rate it. They have a scoring system. And so it came back and she was like, yeah, it doesn't look like Cora has ADHD. And I was like, really? Because when her and I are together, and I was like, oh gosh, that's not her. That's me. And I think just her being around me, like it just like we both become like, we start talking about something and then something over there happens. So we start talking about that. And then, it's like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And so I was like, oh, she totally has ADHD. And they're like, no, she doesn't. Because she's not like that at school. She's only like that around me. So I think that just us together and her being my child, not like you and Dawn, your brain's already developed.
Right. And when he was in school, he was distracted. But back then, ADD, you didn't know you had it.
Yeah, they just were like a troubled kid.
You struggled big time. And he did. And he wishes he would have known way back when. The outcome of his life could have been different.
Right. I was really lucky when I was a kid. I went to this special school, and it was a school for people who are more like self-motivated or like kind of like I don't know. What we got to do is we got to choose what we did every single day. So every morning we would sit on a bunch of bean bags and cushions, and there's a big planning board. And we would have our planning sheets in front of us, and we would pick from the board what we wanted to do all week. So if we wanted to learn about dinosaurs, and on Wednesday at 9, there was a lecture on dinosaurs, we would put that on our planning sheet. And so we could choose what we wanted to do all day. And then every quarter, there was requirements that had to be done. So something like you have to read 5 books in a quarter. I could read 5 books on the first week, or I could read every Monday for an hour, or I can read every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a half an hour. Like I got to choose how to get there. We just had requirements we had to meet at the end of the quarter. And we had one of our teachers was our advisor, and they kind of helped us like make sure that we were on the right path. So like if we had to make a presentation by the end of the quarter, like we had to do a biography. So I did one on Amelia Earhart. So by the end of the quarter, I had to do a presentation on Amelia Earhart. So I could spend 8 hours in 2 days and do the whole presentation, or I can spend an hour a day for the next 3 months and do the presentation. So it was kind of neat. I feel like it really worked well with the way I think. And I was really focused on math. And so I would do math for like 3 hours a day and come up with these really cool, like I did a 50 digit by 50 digit multiplication problem.
Mm-hmm.
It was like on butcher paper. That was like, we had to tape it all, cause like when you did the multiplication, how it all went on a diagonal, and it was 50 digits. So we had to keep taping butcher paper, and then we couldn't check it because that was before computers. But yeah, I think it was really helpful that I wasn't in a traditional learning environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could be a little more creative, and I was praised for the things I focused on.
Mm-hmm. So
when I was hyper focused on something, people were like, oh, wow, she has a really great mind and this and that, instead of like, she doesn't know anything about, like, I never did anything about, I don't know anything about history. So that wasn't a priority for me. So I never learned it. So, but one thing I was going to mention that I don't know if you and Dawn ever talk about it, but when I was kind of looking up ways that like help the ADD mind and the ADHD mind, one of the things that it talked about is exercise and movement, and how it's actually really good. So I feel like, I do plenty of that. And so I went to learn that that's helpful was really, really great for me. But maybe, if he could, because I know the times that Dawn has been active, he feels a lot better overall in life.
That's because he knows that. Yeah, he knows all this.
He knows. It's just not
how many times has he started?
Yeah. Yeah.
He just can't stay focused.
Yeah. I've known Dawn longer than I've known Wendy. I don't know him. I don't talk to him now, but we've known each other for a long time. So yeah, he has gone on and off on his exercise a lot, very often.
Yeah.
So what are 3 simple things that you can think of offhand for people who maybe they're parents of children or spouses or best friends or something that just that help them understand a little bit better?
You just got to educate yourself.
Yeah.
I think if you want to deal with it and you want to accept it, you have to educate yourself about it. That's it.
And do you have any tips on that? Like where to go?
No.
No. Google it.
No, because everything that Don has shared with me, he wants me to learn more about it.
Yeah. So, but that's a good like resource is go to the person, say, how can I best support you? How can I help understand your brain and your thinking and your reasoning and your mannerisms and why you do what you're doing?
Yeah, I think that's number 1.
Communication.
Mm-hmm.
All the relationships stuff we've ever talked about always goes back to communication.
Mm-hmm.
So communication. Well, awesome. Did you have any listener questions?
Yeah. I was so excited about this one, and now I'm like, okay, here we go. And we talked about this before. It says, help. I'm usually all about my training, but I've come down with a cold. I tried to swim Monday and run today, but had to cut both off early because I'm so tired, no energy. I have a 55-minute interval bike and recovery swim day tomorrow scheduled, then a long ride and a Friday long run. Should I try to push through and do at least some of the workouts or just skip some of them and hope I feel better? So, I get that question a lot. We talk about, missed workouts, when to make up missed workouts, when to skip missed workouts. And I think this person has said, I was exhausted. They have this goal, they attempted some workouts, they came out of it exhausted. Hello, why would you continue training if you know the outcome is going to be exhaustion? There's a time and a place that the training is supposed to cause some fatigue, but not necessarily exhaustion. And I always follow the rule of thumb is if the virus is in your chest and it's below the neck, you can take it out. If it's above the neck, go with the more the head, modify the workout intensity. So do something easy. You're not going to build fitness by training while you're sick.
Right.
And in taking a week off, you're not going to lose fitness by taking a week off. So that's an easy question to answer. Is you just got to listen to your body, because only you know what's happening. We don't know because we're not with you. And just know that taking a week off, you're not going to lose fitness at all. And training while you're sick is not going to build any fitness. It's probably going to delay the recovery. So definitely modify intensity and then take more days.
Yeah. And one thing that I would when you were reading what his workouts are, and he said like an interval bike and a recovery swim.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had that on my workout plan and I was feeling under the weather, me personally, I might get on the bike and just do like an easy spin and see like how that goes. And then I would do the recovery swim, because the recovery swim, if it's truly a recovery swim, it's supposed to be just an easy swim anyway.
Right.
So but I would not do I would not even attempt an interval bike ride. Or if someone's like, oh, you have a treadmill speed workout, and I felt like crap, I'm not even going to attempt that, because I just know that an interval treadmill speed workout is like a 9 out of 10 effort. And I don't have 9 out of 10 when I'm sick.
Right. I wanna make sure when I have a quality workout like that I'm able to put it in. I don't want to do it half-half. It's
Right.
supposed to be an RPE of 9 out of 10. And the outcome and the intention of the workout is going to be different than what was intended for that workout. So just make it a full-on recovery run, like RPE 3
Yeah.
at most, and save that interval for a time that you're feeling better. And I forgot, this person said, it's just a scratchy throat, congestion. Scratchy throat and congestion.
That's always how it starts.
Right. It can
then it gets
turn into
worse.
a chest cold.
Yeah.
And just this time of year, I've known so many athletes. I've coached 6 of them who they still test for their COVID, who have had COVID, and they've been sick for 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And these people know they have COVID because they still test themselves. And I'm sure the 6 other people that I don't coach that I know that have been sick for a month probably have COVID too. They didn't test for it. So COVID is still a thing. The flu is still a thing, even though it's spring and it's March. Whether you test or not, the same remedy is rest, listen to your body, and try to sleep as much as you can and drink fluids and follow that advice.
Eat the fruits and vegetables, sleep. Hydrate, fruits and veggies, and sleep. I swear that's 99% of our podcast issues that we deal with, that we talk about, can all be cured by those 3 things.
Right. And I also want to mention, like, who have a fear of taking time off. It's like going through my patella surgery and having 6 weeks completely off. I just lied on the couch, and I started back up on level 1 of the step mill, and my heart rate was 150 beats. It should have been 100 beats. I should have been 80 beats at level 1.
Right.
I mean, going through that out of shape experience and then coming back stronger, like, I've lived it. I've recently lived it. It's not a big deal. It's temporary. Sickness is temporary. The best way to overcome being sick is to allow your body rest.
Yeah. Exactly. Amen. What are you most excited about this week?
I'm gonna go back
Not
to
doing a swim meet. Not doing a swim meet.
Go back to finalize. No, this is. I'm looking forward to this being the last of my youthful meet. The last of them. I've been asked to coach the summer league, and I'm not doing it. From 2 places. I've had 2 places ask me to coach summer league. A year ago, I would have said yes. And so I just really want to work on developing my master swim team. And I have an indoor triathlon that I'm hosting. And so I really want to now put this extra time that I'm not coaching the kids after, this week, maybe. The kids are now coming to my master swim program, because right now it's kind of the transitional phase that we're going through. So they're allowed to come to with me at master. But I'm excited about the indoor triathlon that I'm putting on, because I haven't done that since I left Fort Collins.
I know. One of them came up in my memories like a week ago. I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you. I don't think I sent it to you. But
I used to host indoor triathlons January, February, March, and April.
Yeah, and it just came up like a couple weeks ago in my memory.
Yeah, 15 or 16 years.
Yeah,
I started them.
Yeah. So that's exciting. You're bringing it back.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I was going to spend all afternoon getting stuff done, and it's like 70 degrees outside, and my race is in 3 weeks from Saturday. So I am going to ride my bike outside for 3 hours. I know. It's weird. It's kind of scary because Colorado has never, like, I've lived here almost my whole life, and people who have lived here forever, they're just like, this is really weird. That in March, it's like 70 degrees.
When I came and visited March of 2018 or 2017, 2018 or 2019, when I lived in, I used to visit those months, and then COVID happened. I stopped visiting. I visited over the spring equinox week, so March 21st, and it was like 80 degrees. And we had a big weekend of riding that was hosted by a bike shop, and I was there, and I kept telling people, let's go ride. So it is uncommon, but it has happened.
Yeah. Well, I think
and you guys, I bet you're going to get 4 feet of snow next week. It's
not that it's uncommon to have days like this. Every day has been like this. It has snowed one time in the Denver area this whole winter. Like where there was actually like snow on the ground, like
that's
pile
unusual.
up.
That's unusual.
It is, and it's like all the mountains are dry. The ski areas suck. They're really worried about fires and droughts this summer, so it's a little bit interesting.
Yeah,
well, I know. I will. All right, you guys, let us know what you think. Oh, I want to know who my ADHD sisters out there are. Yeah. Holla. No, we want to hear from you, and send us some listener questions if you have any questions about anything, and we will see you guys next time.
Make it a great day.
Thanks for being here. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Wellness Made Easy with Wendy and Kirsten. If you want to learn more about us or anything we talked about today, check out the links in our show notes. We would love to know what you think of our podcast and what you want more of. So drop us a comment, send us a message, and help us out by leaving us a rating and a review. And don't forget to let us know your wellness win for this week. Thanks for listening. Make it a great day.